Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Andrew,
And
and
mine Whoa, my name is Emily. Wow.
my no dose and my Gatorade just kicked in. So
I think we just neither of us remembered who went first last week.
agreed.
We were just in a deadlock.
Yep, it was one of those classic Mexican standoffs. It's like you hear the music in the background,
The
the
spaghetti western
tumbleweed,
music,
the what?
the spaghetti
Yep,
western music, the tumbling tumbleweeds. Oh
yep.
yes.
Some random dude with an excellent mustache comes out of nowhere. Not me, but
Fantastic hats too.
yep. So
Oh,
what's up? How's it going?
oh it's going. Oh, I got this little guy is
Ooh,
I finally got one. A listener of the show, Marty, sent. Well, I bought this from Marty. It is the Fender Tenor Telecaster. I finally, after literal years, got
yeah.
one.
You've been looking for that for a very long time.
I've been gassing, and I'm enjoying it. It's a fun little boy.
Good.
Yeah, I've been just I love it so much. It weighs nothing. It's so tiny, and I'm very happy with it.
Good.
Took a long
Good.
time. I feel like Marty started messaging us like last summer that he was going to sell this, but he just had to get back to like where it was or something. Like he had to take care of some other stuff first. And now it's mine.
Well, thanks, Marty.
Thank you, Marty.
That's going to make my what's new that much more bitter.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have another what's new.
Do it.
Because I've also
Crush
been
me.
playing it through the Caroline Corporation, their newest Hawaiian pizza. It's the fuck Putin piece of shit.
Yep.
It's a sounds great through my Benson.
I'll bet. Sounds like freedom.
Sounds like this fuzz kills fascists. So
Yep. Yeah,
play with some demonic machine. Play with the divine chorus. That's what I'm gonna do. Because the demonic machine's one of their slogans has something to do with kills fascists, which is something that Woody Guthrie would say. He'd write on his guitar, "This machine kills fascists," which is where that slogan comes
yep.
from.
Well, to world leaders out there who, invade countries with very little or next to no true reason for actually invading them. Uh, I say to you, no, don't do it. Bad. And yeah, still can't believe Bush got away with it. But anyways,
Or
sorry,
Americans
I
got away
wasn't
with it so many
equivocating.
times.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're not talking about American imperialism. This is a guitar podcast.
It's the pot calling the kettle black. But so be it. Anyways, back to guitars. My what wasn't new.
Again, everyone thinks I'm the political one. I didn't bring it up.
I just I, I don't like war. I can't help it. I very very strictly in the can we just be friends camp at this point in world history. Like, there's no reason why we can't be like, well, we've all collectively got enough resources for us to all live decently. Why can't we just move towards a system of,
Are you pining for a new world order?
kind of, yeah, that'd be great.
Oh God, this is just so apt. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
So I
I'm
went to
so
Bellingham
sorry.
last week.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a
and
place up in north. That's basically the
Canadian
nearest
border.
medium-ish city to Canada from in Washington. It's a
Yep.
lovely town, college town.
It is a very lovely college town with plenty of breweries, great eats, and great hiking. Uh, I dare say the closest thing I'll experience to blissful utopia. But Yeah, no, I went to there's a music shop down there called Champlin Guitars, and
Hey, Devlin's. Devin? Devin. Devlin? Devin.
I am so out of it. I feel bad, but I'm blanking really hard right now. Uh, but I poked my head in the shop. And I'm like, yeah, we were on our way to go get dinner, and I just happened to see the shop. They had moved since the last time I was there. So it's just like one of those, like, wait a minute, that's hey, I'm gonna step in there real quick, and not gonna buy anything, not gonna just gonna quick in and out peruse. And next thing I know, I've got this guitar in my hands, plugging it into an AC30 and going,
I thought you were gonna say walking out with it.
no, I didn't get it, but I wanted to, but I couldn't justify spending 1G on
Join
a
our
whim.
Patreon so Andrew can afford this guitar.
It was late '90s Japanese made Fender Mustang. They
Mm-hmm.
had it listed as mac and cheese orange. It just looked kind of like competition orange with the red racing stripes, white pickguard, and purportedly was formerly owned by a member of Taco Cat, is what I was told.
Oh, we opened for Taco Cat once. It was a
I
really
know,
great show. Yeah.
yeah. So it looked super sweet. It was going for $999, and
I'm sorry. It's just the funniest thing that like a member of Taco Cat is like, they're really cool. They're a cool
yep,
band. I didn't know that has like selling power. That's neat.
that's what I was
I
told.
guess.
By the dude at the counter. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is owned by a member of Taco Cat."
Which member?
He didn't say. I didn't ask. So noodled on it for a minute, and realized I was like, I'm just gonna play a couple quick notes. I want to get a feel for the neck. Neck felt super comfortable, and I was gonna start playing a bit more, but a combination of one, my hunger, and two, my realization that if I played it for much longer, I was gonna make a decision that I really shouldn't have made. So I put it back and walked away. But it was fun. Neat little
Now
guitar.
I'm trying to find live pictures of.
No, I tried. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, unless it's one thing to say somebody like has owned a guitar, but
Mm-hmm.
like, especially if it's somebody from an indie band, but unless they like played it in pictures from like big shows that you can see, I it's a weird thing to advertise. I don't know. Like play it like normally you would be like play it on their KEXP session. That's
Right.
funny. That's just so funny.
I got a kick out of it. But it was a fun guitar to play on, and I will someday.
Because it looks like the guy in Taco Cat often plays like a Rev Star looking thing, which is neat. I love Rev Stars.
Yeah, I can't find a photo of it on their Instagram, and they don't have like a website like with active inventory.
Yeah.
I
Well,
sent you a photo of it, right?
yeah. I think the singer's name is Emily.
It was a handsome guitar.
Yeah, it was really nice looking.
All right, I got a photo on my phone.
Most of the pictures of her are just like her with a tambourine.
All right, let's see if this will come through.
Yeah, you can see
Ta-da!
that. It's fairly pretty. It's the same orange as your Jennings back there.
It's pretty darn close, yeah.
Yeah. You
So,
Google Taco Cat guitar and you still just get a bunch of pictures of tacos as with cat heads and tails. It's pretty great.
well, another day, another day.
Another day.
I will
Yes.
just. I think by the time I'm like retired, my house will just be completely filled with orange things.
Mm. Mine will be filled with guitars.
At
All
the
this
rate
way.
you're going,
You know, I'm still hoping to get one of those Meteora basses, and it's gonna be a little bit of time, according to
those
from
are
becoming a Fender.
so sick.
I think the basses look a lot better than the guitars. I don't know
Agreed.
why. It's just like a balance thing. I
Yep.
just they look more
It's
balanced.
such a beefy body.
Yeah,
Having the beefy strings and the beefy neck on it just looks more
better.
balanced. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's fitting.
I'd love to get it in April, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Mm.
Because I'm going on tour in May. So I think it's just going to be the Mustang and I don't know, like I feel like I should have a backup bass,
Hmm.
but I don't know if that's going to happen. I should talk to Fender and see what can happen.
Sure.
Um, I
And
know
worst case scenario, like if it shows up late, like I know someone that could take care of it
what? What? No, I mean I'm still going to demo it.
just temporarily. I'll borrow it for a weekend.
Yeah, you can borrow things. You're allowed to borrow. You borrow things all the time.
I know.
Oh man, now I'm looking at the Yamaha website. Speaking of Yamaha, today was this week was what a week for delay pedals, 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 pedals.
Yeah, it was a delay pedal bonanza this week.
It was like well, I knew all those things were coming. I just didn't know the when for all of them.
And it seems like they all like. I have a hard time. Maybe I'm just a conspiracist. I have a hard time believing that that was all just coincidental. I wonder if like the first company released it, the other company was like, we should rush our release tomorrow.
No,
No?
absolutely not. If anything, they were like, feck. That's my guess. Well, like the thing is, like these releases are planned so far in advance. There's
Right.
no way you can just like change it on the fly. If anything, like I I I think there were some demo artists on both, and they had to ask some of them to like not be on both.
Mm,
That's my understanding.
interesting. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mm. Yeah. So that's my understanding of something that actually did maybe happen, because I know that there were some demo artists who were supposed to be on both, and I did not see them do a launch for the second pedal on launch day.
Maybe it's just going to be a a
Oh,
delayed launch of their
dude.
demo.
But like you because you don't want like that's almost like stealing your thunder in a way, and you don't like
Sure.
that sucks. Like I mean, here you are one, the Line 6 Mark II, like this seemingly came out of nowhere. There were hushed like rumors that the Mark One was like being sunsetted. Like
Yep.
so people were like, "Oh my god, they're not going to make the DL4 anymore." Oh, people are freaking out.
Losing the minds.
I mean, I knew a Mark II was coming. I
I
was
was seeing people like buying multiple of them, waiting for them to go out of stock and no longer in production so they could flip them. And to them, I say, suckers. So you get for trying to take advantage of other people.
yeah. So I was trying to tell people like don't
Relax.
relax, calm down. Calm down.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Chillax a doodle, my poodle.
I knew the Mark II was coming. So but I didn't know exactly when. I figured out when.
Mm-hmm.
Um but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that one because like it's a little bit smaller.
Yep.
You know, the pictures that were leaked looked so bad in comparison to
Yeah.
how it actually looks, which is fine.
I I I don't blame them for not. I think they could have made it look a lot better, but part of the appeal of the DL4 has always been that it's just this big ugly bastard. So I don't blame them for not moving away from that. too
Yeah, but I
far.
think that, like, the leaked pictures in, like, Guitar World or whatever didn't do
Yeah, yeah.
any favors. I
No.
mean, it certainly made people talk about it,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
when it's
absolutely.
released, like, oh, it's not really very ugly in comparison to those pictures.
In comparison to the pictures, I think it could look better, but at the end of the day, it's going to be iconic no matter what. So,
Yeah. I mean, you
uh,
can't really make it that much smaller with 4-foot switches and have it still be functional. And, like, I feel like I appreciate that they didn't try to make it some, like, aesthetic that's, like, trendy now, because that would just end up making it look dated in a different way. Like, it
sure.
looked very, like, the original DL4, I think, looks very of its era.
Yep.
And I think this looks like a certain homage of that era with a slight modern touch, but I wouldn't say timeless either, but it certainly doesn't look like today modern, which I think
Right.
means it's not going to look dated in, 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's very on brand. It's going to be very instantly recognizable for better or for worse. And at the end of the day, I'm just wondering how long it's going to take for modders to be like, all right, here's our foot switch replacement modification for $180. So
Yeah,
it's only a matter of time.
it
Although I
really is.
imagine they would have had, like, at this point, they would have updated the foot switches to be better with the V2. But
What do you mean?
oh, the V1 was notorious for foot switches just being garbo
Oh
and
yeah,
going out after a period of time.
right.
And so there's a lot of,
You don't
uh,
think those have been fixed?
I would hope that they would be fixed. But if they're not,
I
there's
was
going to
about to
be
say, man.
some
Wow.
modders out there ready to jump, ready to pounce.
Yeah, because those got rehoused a bit, didn't they?
Some got rehoused, some just got the foot switches replaced. Some of them got some other modifications done for, like, I can't remember what the output was, if it was expression or MIDI or what, or like tap out or something for
So,
like a global clock tap.
among the other changes, there are all of the original delay settings that we know and love,
Yep.
along
Tweeze.
along with new settings, new delays, and
Hmm.
like 16 hidden reverbs.
I wonder. I honestly haven't looked too closely. I wonder if they've got any of the Verbzilla algorithms in there. That'd actually be pretty cool.
I don't know. Um,
Those things were bricks. Have you ever held a Verbzilla?
no, I've never held a Verbzilla.
The
Actually, let
Line
me.
6 Verbzilla. It's the like the Boss Compact style unit that they did.
Yeah, I've held one of those.
They're
I just looked it up.
so freaking heavy.
Yeah. They look like plastic. How were they? How were they?
I don't.
How?
I think maybe it was like a diecast enclosure, like custom
Mhm.
diecast enclosure, if I remember correctly. But maybe I'm wrong. I vividly remember the last time I picked one up, going, "You could do some damage with this, and it'd probably still work."
Yeah. Do not throw through windows.
So
Let's
there's some
see.
like beautiful and like in a cheesy kind of way, kind of algorithms in that unit that
Yeah.
I'd love to see built in as hidden on that V2.
The power source of the DL4 Mark II is 9 volts.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yes, no more special power supply. That's one of the big reasons I really never used a DL4.
Yep. And I've got like 8 of like the DL4 conversion, like barrel conversions. It's like sitting in my bag of miscellaneous patch and power cables.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
ugly red end on it.
Yeah. Let's see what else. It has a mic instrument in. That's pretty neat.
Interesting. All right.
Microphone in.
That could be fun.
I think that will be fun, honestly. And then MIDI, of course, stereo ins now. I think stereo
I
ins.
want to see more singers with pedal boards for their microphone. I'm just going to say it.
I mean, you got the maw, and now you have
Yep.
um. Well, you just need one at the front, and then you can run whatever through it. So
Exactly.
like you can have that. Like you just need one. I mean, I want to get a vocoder really badly.
Welcome to 2022. It's the year of the singer's pedal board.
We've announced this at the end of Q1. You've had you're already behind.
We're like the opposite of car companies who are releasing their 2024 models right now
Oh my god,
with
dude.
zero in stock.
Oh jeez.
They'll arrive eventually. Give us $50,000 deposit.
Been trying to buy a car.
Hmm.
We'll figure it out
My
eventually.
condolences.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. So many struggles. People are so testy in the world. That's what I've learned. I'm just trying
Wait.
to just vibe. It's
Yeah.
okay. I've been testy. I spent so hopefully this week people will see my Line 6 Catalyst 100 amp. Speaking of Line 6, that thing is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like also, like I know we had already talked about the Catalyst a bit. I didn't realize that the amps on it, all the amp sounds are unique to the Catalyst.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like somebody on TikTok was like, "I want to hear the sounds how they compare to the HX Stomp or the Pod Go."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, that could be fun." I was talking to Matt at Yamaha Guitar Group. He's like, "Oh no, they're all unique." I'm like, "Whoa!"
Interesting.
And my like, there's one amp sound on there called Boutique. It sounds great. That with a little bit of spring reverb and like a slapback echo. I'm gigging with that at my next show on April 6th. That's what I'm doing.
All
Yeah,
right. You've got my
yeah,
attention.
yeah. I'm doing it. It's gonna get loud enough. So that's what I'm gonna be gigging with at the Tractor on April 6th for the John Prine tribute night. It's a little bit of show promo. Have a little, and then I could just like have a smaller board because I'll already have my reverb and delay. So I'll have probably a little phaser action, a little
Yeah.
volume pedal, and maybe like a chorus pedal.
There we go.
It's just John
Beautiful.
Prine, yeah. So yeah. And then like 2 days later after Line 6 announced the DL4 Mark II, something that has been like a literal meme on the internet and then finally became a real thing got announced. That was announced a few months ago
Yep.
and finally came out. The Roland Boss Space Echo compact version and the new big boy. There's a bigger version
The
that
big boy.
Andy from Pedalboard of the Day demoed the bigger one,
Yep.
and William John Bennett III, I think, demoed the compact one. I might have those backwards. I'm sorry, guys. But like
No, I think you
Boston,
got that right.
Boston, Canada, like they're a little bit better about getting out to small pedal build, small demo artists. So
Canada.
like if you just look at who did the demos, and you'll see
Sure.
Canada and Australia and the UK had a lot more
Straya.
demos than the US artists.
Dude, speaking of Australia, somebody put like a bag of Tim Tams on my desk yesterday, and I'm so happy about it.
I
Deja thing.
don't. I've heard those are great, but
Phenomenal.
are they like a Kit Kat?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Like similar form factor, different filling. Significantly better on every level.
So it's the RE2 and the RE202. The two is obviously the compact, but both have stereo ins and outs, so that's pretty neat.
Just depends on how much control you want.
It really does. Do you favor control over, compactness? Uh, it's interesting that they went the 202 route instead of using their like 200 series enclosure.
Yep.
It almost
I
has like
agree.
the Strymon Night Sky look to it. Though it's a lot more handsome. I really love the 202's like aesthetic.
I like it a lot. It reminds me of honestly, it reminds me of how people would lay out um, the 20 series for rehousing.
Yeah.
It's honestly what it reminds me of.
Probably not an accident.
It's like, hey, so if this is what people end up doing with our stuff,
Yeah.
rehousing it, maybe we just give the people what they want. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, this is classic. This whole series then is like seems to be classic. We'll
Give
just
the
give
people
people
what they
what they
want.
want. Yes.
Yep.
Listening to your customers seems like it pays off, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Um, like the hype has been real. I hope that they're seeing, results from it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I want one
Oh wow, those foot
of
switches are
each.
angled at like
Yep.
it almost looks like 40. I can't really get a read, but it looks like between 30 and 45 degrees angled up. Huh. It's interesting. It looks very ergonomic.
Well, the 202 looks like it's got the full layout options that the original 201 had.
Yeah.
So like
Whew.
very almost identical
Yeah,
panel, which I think is really neat.
totally. They say it's a very true um identical sounding is what Roland slash Boss is saying for the 202.
Sure. I mean, that's a very bold claim.
Very bold.
But I also admittedly have never played a 201 in real life to compare it to. And there's so much variation with what a 201 could sound like.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I,
that's fair.
I'd rather have, honestly, if I was in a studio, I'd probably rather have a 202 and just call it a day.
Yeah, it depends. Like I don't use a ton of delay um with like Sunday Crush. And if I
Mm-hmm.
use delay, typically like the David Foster Wallace, just something that can like self oscillate and like get a little bit weird when I want it to be like that usually is like plenty for me and what I'm doing with Sunday Crush. For now, that might change with like the new record. But if I was doing something more ambient or shoegazy or lots of other, oh god, that's so beautiful. I'm just sorry, I'm just keep looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great green. Um, I can. I think I would prefer the compact live, yeah. But like, if you're doing a lot of stuff, really ambient soundscapes on a board, yeah, I can see wanting the bigger one. Um, but not.
Depends. So if I was running like a 20 pedals on a board, I'd go compact. If I was running 3, I'd go for the big guy.
Yeah,
That's kind of how I feel about it.
I don't have a super large board, as you know, like it's big-ish, but it's not as it's not the biggest that they sell. It's not as big as they come. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the photos make it look bigger than it'd be in person.
Sweetwater has dimension. So let me pull that up. It's RE202. Come on. Come on.
Because this looks like this would be just a little bit larger than the enclosure we did for Mount Hood.
I think it'd be a lot bigger. I think it'd be closer in size to the Line 6 Mark II. That
No.
the 202 is $400. The Line 6 Mark II DL4 Mark II is $300 and the I think the RE2 is $250. Let's see. The dimensions are it's 8 inches wide and 5.25 inches deep.
All right, so
8
let me
inches
figure
wide.
out how to use this chair. All right, yeah, so that is pretty wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I've got the Mount Hood here, which is at 4.5 inches wide, so 8 inches would be. Ta-da! That much. That's 8 inches. Where my middle finger is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty hefty.
Pretty big.
Hefty, hefty, hefty.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
And I think I saw the DL4 Mark II pulled up. I do. That's 9.25 inches wide
that's huge.
and 4.5 inches deep. So it actually is less. The DL4 isn't as deep, but it's
Mm-hmm.
longer. And they weigh close enough to the same. The height of the DL4 is 2 inches. They're about the same height too. So
Okay, so the deal four is just a little bit wider.
about 2 inches.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's also got an extra foot switch on there.
yeah, that'll do it. Because
Yep.
you don't want to cramp the foot switches. Like I have small feet, and even I get cramped up on foot switches if they're too close together. Like I'm a size 6.5 in women's. That if you can imagine that in men's, it'd be a 4.5. So yeah. So this tiny,
You
teeny
know what they say
tiny
about small feet?
small
Crowded foot
shoes.
switches.
I was gonna say small shoes. My size is always available on the sale rack. That's what I say.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
Also, I fall over all the time. Just terrible balance. Terrible balance. Embarrassing. I embarrass myself all the time with all the falling over. Oh, that's annoying. All right.
So can I vent for a second?
Yeah.
I'm annoyed, and maybe tell me if I'm unjustified here. Uh, I'm annoyed that tragic breaking news is that Taylor Hawkins has passed.
Yeah,
Uh,
that really has messed me up.
yeah, I'm
I
not
loved him
doing
so much.
great
Like
with that.
he was my first like rock and roll celebrity crush. Like I just loved the energy he emitted like so much.
Mhm.
And I never really stopped loving him, I think.
Yeah, I'm not doing great with it, but the part that I'm frustrated with, and I want either confirmation or either affirmation or a pushback here. The Colombian police released his toxicology report to the public a day after the Foo Fighter statement said, "Please respect our privacy."
I don't know what. So I know that in some places there are like public information laws.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just don't know if they have those there that are just kind of like that, where that might just be public information.
Maybe.
But
Um,
also, to be clear, other than the marijuana, a lot of people who have chronic pain might have all those drugs in their system.
yep.
Because so just to be clear, that toxicology report's not a cause of death.
No.
Um, could it mean he was using drugs illicitly? Sure. It more likely means he was on pain medications. Being a drummer is really hard on your body, like your hips and stuff, especially at that age. And it's not uncommon to have, pain. And if you've had hip pain, and I have at 32, it is unbearable. Um, you cannot get comfortable when you have hip pain.
Sure.
And it, and if you look at people like the death of Heath Ledger, that was an accidental death with completely legal drugs that were prescribed to him by different doctors who just weren't talking to each other.
Sure.
And
But my point is, we shouldn't have to have this conversation,
yeah,
in
I
my
know.
opinion.
I
There shouldn't have
understand.
been a vague report that media like TMZ can take and run with it and say it was a drug addict. Okay,
I
I just
know.
kind
I
of want to
and
scream and shout. And
I get it. I get it. I don't know what their laws are. Um because if they're not releasing that, then that's just extra fuel to the fire also for like the people who are saying he died because he got a booster of the vaccine. There's a lot. There's a lot. And it's just, it's a no win, unfortunately. I just don't think that there's a win here because it's just such a tragic, terrible thing that happened.
I think everybody's speculating that it was a booster, or or whatever they're speculating should just stop. I think it should be private. I think we should let the family and the
Yeah.
bandmates do what they need to do in private and give them their space.
This is just a terrible thing that's happened. I
Yep.
feel so bad for his family. I feel so bad for Dave. I feel like he and Taylor were especially close, and Dave having
Yep.
to go through this again, and Pat having to go through this a third time.
Yeah.
Because he went through it with the germs, he went through it with Nirvana, and now he's going through it again. Um, I think Dave said that one time when Kurt overdosed, he got a call that Kurt had died, and then he got another call a little bit later that said just actually he's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And now he always waits for that second phone call. Like, how much would that mess you up? Like, he was very young when that happened. I
Yeah.
don't know how you kind of grow from that. Like, I, I,
Therapy.
well, yeah,
It's
therapy can,
traumatic.
it's traumatic. There's no other way to put it.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons that, like, I'm loving the outpouring of love that we're seeing around Taylor, and I'm not loving the outpouring of speculation.
Yep. That's the part I have a problem with.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's
So,
angering at a very deep level for me.
yeah. I think that we should focus on the fact that he was I saw one tweet that said he loved being a rock star. And he was one of the few rock stars who obviously loved being a rock star and the world loved him for it. And he just emitted such joy.
Yep.
And that really is it, you know. And I think that we could all learn a lot from that. And also that we never know what's going on in somebody's life or how much time we have left with these people that we love or our own lives. And we just need to live in the moment a lot better, tell people that we love them and appreciate them and their art and their work while they're here. And, you know, hope that, and I think that Taylor felt the love while he was with us.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings me a lot of comfort. I think that brings a lot of people some comfort. But it doesn't necessarily make it easier. So
I think there's a lot to learn in a very learn from example in a very positive way from his life and legacy.
yeah.
And gone too soon. I'm
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
His drumming's got me through. Uh, yeah, I'm not going to get into it, but
I should say I didn't have a lot of posters of drummers, pictures of drummers on my walls, but I had pictures of Taylor Hawkins on my wall.
so. Anyways, screw everybody who's speculating and as if it's going to make a difference.
It's
So
not, but people
get
are
screwed.
naturally curious. Just keep it to your damn self and just
Yep.
don't be a dick.
Exactly.
And
So
it wasn't the fucking COVID vaccine.
grinding my gears.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. All right. Oh
Well,
no, my tab. I closed it.
why don't we
Pivot. I think we need a reset.
Yep.
All
Gather composure.
right. Well, March was Women's History Month, and we didn't really talk about it very much. I think we did talk about it a little bit.
A little bit, but not as
Yeah.
much as I probably should have.
Well, you know, we talked about marketing a little bit. We talked. Women are history.
What, women are the future? Why isn't it Women's Future Month?
Oh my god. It's a great question.
I said that like the most like annoying like possible douchey voice possible. Now that I think about it, actually, I don't hate that.
We're
But
speculating on women's futures.
okay, there we go. Bring it, bringing it back full circle.
Bringing it back, bringing it back.
Yeah, I'm investing this like women's based ETF because they're the future.
Yeah. We're minting
There you
NFTs of women. I
so
don't
we
know
can
why.
own women once again.
No! You're not actually owning the women, you're owning an
The idea
NFT
of the
of
woman.
it's a link that points to an NFT. Isn't that literally what Hit Piece was arguing? That it wasn't stealing because it wasn't actually selling the music, it was selling a link that pointed to the music, like as the Spotify or something?
I don't know.
I think that's what they were arguing, which is essentially arguing that NFTs are a scam. Amazing stuff. Friend of the show, Hillary B. Jones, who is a wonderful human being.
Hi, Hillary.
Hi, Hillary. Has her own podcast called the Midriff Podcast that you should all go subscribe to right this
Indeed.
moment. Big fan.
Like, pause this episode right now. Click away.
You might
Go
not have
find
to.
it.
You probably don't have to pause this episode to
Okay,
go.
that's fair.
You can.
Keep listening,
I think you
but
can
start
multitask.
typing.
I have faith that you can multitask.
There we go. That's better.
Indeed.
I'm incapable. I will start a task and then stop and start another task and then stop and start another task, and it's like in a course of 45 seconds.
Rick's
And
the
then
same way.
yep,
Rick can't listen to me talk and like do a thing.
yep.
I'm like, why are you like staring at me instead of like, I don't know, hammering a nail? He's like, I don't know. I can't do the both of things.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
This just feels
Yep.
more natural. All right. Well,
The Midriff Podcast, Hillary.
she made a list called Diversity in Music Gear Resource List. It's a living list, which means you can submit other brands to this list, but it's a running list of effects pedals, luthiers, demo artists that are basically not cishet white men,
Yep.
which is kind of the like perceived default.
Bulk. Yep.
Let's just say perceived default in the industry. So, oh my god, my allergies. So like the list has like some great pedal companies, including friends of the show, Heather Brown Electronicals, Low Sounds, Recovery Effects, Dogman Devices, Maris. I have my Polymoon right here.
There you go.
Earthquaker, Native Audio, Big Ear, Death by Audio, and some Demonic Machines. I love Demonic Machines. So like it's just such a great list. So if you're looking to support like a diverse group of humans, this is a great starting place. It's also
Especially with it being tax return season.
I'm not getting one of those. Never do.
If you get tax returns and you like to spend them instead of doing other things with that money, do it here. That's what I'm saying.
I like to try to make it so that I either owe a little bit of money or get a zero tax return because I don't like giving the government a free loan. Hit the desk again. Guitar luthiers, including Tunatone, Dismal Axe, Cal Brand, Reverend Guitars. Interesting. I didn't know that about Reverend Guitars. But they're basically defining the brands as like a woman has to at least be a part owner.
Right.
So that's fast. That's great. Cindy Guitars. Nicole Olazanak, that's a friend of the show.
Indeed. Hi, Nicole.
Yeah. Hi, Nicole. Amps. Demo artists. We're the
first ones. Hey.
You got Megan L. Ann Silikowski, Working Class Music. Pedal Friends, it's Joan. We got Devin Blue Whitaker, Emily, oh, which also friend of the show, Emily
Emily
Hopkins,
Harpkins.
Harpkins. So many friends. Oh, I just love looking at this list and being like, I love these people.
Right?
That makes me feel good about like what we have been doing in a way. Like,
100%.
yeah. And some retailers like Fanny's, friend of the show.
So if you want to go for like a double credit, buy something from one of the brands listed above from one of the retailers listed towards the bottom.
Extra credit. Stompbox Sonic. I didn't know that about them. Wow. I follow them on on Instagram or TikTok. I don't know. But it's just such a great list. I really love it. Shop. I'm looking at their website now. Shop. Shop.
Anyways, it's a great list. Highly recommend.
Yeah. And you can find that
But
at, the Hillary B. Jones website.
yes, Hillary B. Jones' website. What I'd also like to encourage people is that it's a living list. So if you don't, especially if you feel bad, like you're like, oh, I don't have any money to spend right now. Like that's okay. Go submit a name. Like help Hillary put together this list. Find names of brands that meet the criteria and submit them. There's a submission form.
And the brands that
And
are on the list, like, follow, join their email list, tell people about
yep,
them, subscribe to their
share their
YouTube
stuff in social
channels.
media.
Yeah. Like, there are lots of ways to support folk that aren't financial. It's called, like, amplifying.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. I
Use your
threw a missed
platform
term.
to give power to the voices of others.
Yes. Yes, even if you don't have a ton of followers, you are a micro nano influencer of your own little group of humans. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
You have more influence and power than you think you do.
Yep. Influence, it doesn't have to be like thousands of people. It could be 3.
That's true.
And the reason why I know that that's the case is MLMs.
This is also true, but this is not an MLM.
This is not an MLM, no.
Oh my god.
This is the word of mouth. Don't underestimate the impact that you could have.
Yeah, there's a reason brands spend a lot of money big brands spend a lot of money on word of mouth marketing.
Yep.
And actually, big brands are spending more money on smaller influencers than the bigger influencers because they work better. People trust their friends more.
Yep, exactly.
It's amazing. So, yeah.
So that's the plug.
That is
sincere thank you to Hillary for putting this together.
Yes, I put like something similar together years ago, and I just haven't updated it. So this is better than my list. Thank you.
It's a good list.
Yeah, great list. Yeah. That's all I've got for this week. Anything else?
No, that's all I got. I want to end on a positive note. I want to end on a reminder that we have impact on this world, whether we know it or not, and be a part of that.
Be a good part of that. I'm into it. For everybody out there, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/getoffset. Please rate, review on iTunes. Something nice, please. That'd be nice.
Preferably.
Ideally.
But not required.
No. I want you to be honest. And y'all usually are.
Indeed. Indubitably.
You can subscribe on Spotify. We got merch at getoffsetpodcast.com/shop. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily.
And my name is Andrew.
Goodbye.
Bye.